Howdy, race fans. Howdy, howdy. Howdy, race fans. My name is StockCar Scott, and this is my little show about racing I like to call In the Pits. And In the Pits is brought to you each and every week, most of the time, by generous sponsorship from Monte Carlo Express Delivery. Monte Carlo Express Delivery has been serving the courier needs of the Seattle area for the last decade. Please like us on Facebook. Okay, first thing, it's Tuesday, Veterans Day, November 11th, 2014, and that's why I got my celebratory hat on, because it's an American holiday. Started out as Armistice Day at the end of World War I, 96 years ago. But today we observe it as Veterans Day. So all you veterans out there, thank you for what you've done, especially the people who served with me in my time when I was in the service. But on to racing. Okay, on Friday, last Friday, was F1 practice in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yes, they had practice there, but without a couple of teams. Missed a couple of teams last week at Austin. Marussia has now officially closed, laying off 200 of their employees. Caterham, they're still kind of up in the air. They're trying to do a crowdsource fund me type thing to get through the rest of the season and maybe be able to get it up into the top 10 in manufacturers' points, and that way they get a boatload of money from F1. But Bernie Eccleston doesn't really like that they're crowdsourcing, so we'll just have to see how that goes between now and end of the season, which isn't too far away. But during the practice that I got to watch, second practice there on Friday, Rosberg was fastest, Hamilton was second, and Alonso was on fire. Literally, his car caught on fire, and he had to park it and just let the marshals put it out there. But his second practice did not go very well there for his Ferrari team. So the next thing was on Friday was do a little courier work. Yeah, that's what I do a little courier work, and luckily at the place that I was at today, they let me watch NASCAR, or where I was at Friday, they let me watch NASCAR when I'm in between jobs there for them. So I got to watch a little practice and then get home in time to see qualifying. And in qualifying, Denny Hamlin was fastest there in the final round of qualifying, and I do believe there may have been a track record set during the first round of qualifying when everybody's out there on nice fresh tires. Many of the chasers, I think 5 or 6 out of the chasers were up in the top 12, and of course Junior wasn't one. He was like 16th or something, I think is where he qualified. But the big news on Friday was the hammer. The hammer may be coming down on our old first chase champion. Yeah, speaking of the chase, he was the first one to win in the chase format. Old Kurt Busch. The hammer may be coming down on him from his ex-girlfriend. You may have seen her at the track. She's really involved in her veterans organization, helping out veterans, combat veterans there. Her name is Patricia Driscoll, and they've been together for quite a few years now, but seems as though they have broken up. And during the Dover weekend, Kurt did not like how things went during qualifying, and he was quite distraught in his mobile home there. And she came to see him during that time, and supposedly in his distraction there, he said some things that, people just say things like he wanted to commit suicide or something because he hadn't qualified well. Well, I mean, get over it, Kurt. But she says then, while she was there, he grabbed her by the face and beat her head against the wall like she was, made of rubber, maybe Rubbermaid there. But if Kurt really did that, I don't think he's a Sharpie there, because it's only going to lead to him getting into a lot of trouble. But he's already lawyered up, and his lawyer's saying it's a he said, she said. So we'll just have to see how this goes over the next few months. I think NASCAR is trying to do the same thing as wait and see, especially because it's right here at the end of the season. So we will keep an eye on that. The regular media will make sure that story does not get out of the rotation very far. But anyway, so Friday night there was truck racing. Yes, there was. Man, there were quite a few of my Facebook friends were down there watching the racing in Phoenix this weekend, starting with the truck race. Thomas Ben Scooter and his son TJ were down there, and you might remember TJ is the mini stock champion for the Yakima track for this year. So they were celebrating that down watching Big Boys race. And also I saw Facebook posts from Molly Helmet and her dad Mike Helmet as they were down there, looks like most of the weekend, doing a lot of meeting and greeting. Happened to see that picture of Molly with Mike Helton. Oh, Mike and Molly action there. That's quite a mustache that Mike Helton has on him, which reminds me of this deal that's going on Facebook and Fox Sports, where they're picking the best mustache in NASCAR. And everybody's just picking drivers. But I tell you, folks, it hands down the best NASCAR mustache is Mike Helton. And if you don't think so, fine. A big fine. That's what you get if you don't think his mustache is the best. So, but log in, write him in on your on the deal that Fox Sports is having there over who's got the best mustache in NASCAR, because you don't have to look farther than the NASCAR mustache that's in charge, and that's Mike Helton. I think that was a really nice picture of you with him there, Molly. Hopefully y'all will be seeing a whole lot more of each other in the future. And the reason that Molly was down there, she was down there with Tyler Tanner and his family, because Tyler was running in the truck race. And you know Tyler Tanner, he runs out at Evergreen in their late model series, and he got him a truck ride with the only Dodge truck there in the whole field. And he started pretty good there. I think he started in like 26 or something like that in his number 36 Dodge Ram in the Camping World Truck Series 150 that they had on Friday night. And it got started late because the lights went out. They had a power outage, and Thomas was saying on Facebook that the whole valley was out there, so it wasn't just the track. They had emergency lights, but it wasn't enough to run the race. So we had to wait for a while until the lights came on sufficient enough for them to run the race. And basically when they did, Eric Jones was just showing off his new paint job for next year in the number 51 Kyle Busch Motorsports Tundra. Yeah, he's signed a deal where he's going to run the whole season next year in the Dollar General number 51 Tundra there. So good for him. Looking for good things out of Eric Jones there from Michigan. He went on to win the race while he was showing off that new paint job, and I do believe he won the race there last year, and he's won at least another race this year without running the whole full schedule. So he's already got a couple of wins under his belt, getting ready for his first full-time season next year. The win was about 25 laps short, because once they finally got to that part of the race, almost to the end, the lights went out again. And of course, they couldn't say for sure if the lights were going to be able to stay on for the last 25 laps. It takes a while for those big halogen bulb things to recycle and get turned back on properly. So they just went ahead and called the race with about 25 laps to go. I know Thomas and his son sitting there in the stands were probably quite disappointed, but that's how it goes sometimes. Matt Crafton, in his number 88 Menards truck, ran second most of the night, and finished second. It was those two yellow trucks up front during just about the whole race. Bubba was there. He was kind of a non-factor. I think he finished in the top 10. Maybe he led a lap, but he didn't really catch up enough in points to make any difference for next week at Miami. Ryan Blaney was also there, and he did real well, but just, Matt Crafton has a pretty big points lead. Not enough to give him the championship yet, so they do have to go to Miami next week. I think it's about a 26 point difference, which means that Matt Crafton could have a bad night and still win the championship. So we'll see what happens next Friday there at Homestead, Florida, for the last race of the truck season. Tyler Tanner, good deal. He finished 21st, I do believe, is where he finished in his first truck race, which is fantastic. And while he was on his way home, I think he said he was waiting in the airport there, he got a call from none other than Brett Bodine, saying that he had run so well that night that he was invited to run on larger tracks. He can go up to 1.5 miles. So if he had a truck and funding to run in Homestead next week, he could go try out for it, because NASCAR has okayed him to run at the 1.5 mile track. So hopefully he'll find the funding for his truck ride there and be able to run some of those 1.5 miles and of course a lot more of the short tracks in the truck series next year, and start moving his way up. Way to go, Tyler, and look forward to seeing you doing late model racing this coming spring and summer out at Evergreen. That'll be great too. Get a drink. Way to go, Tyler. Because you see, folks, racing isn't just about winning. It's about doing well with what you have. That's what it's about. Racing as hard as you can with what you got and not messing up and impressing people around you. The wins will come. When you get comfortable in whatever series that you're in, the wins will come. So way to go, Tyler. Way to go. Saturday was F1 qualifying, and pretty much like practice, it was Nico Rosberg who qualified first. It was close though, folks. Hamilton came around for his last lap, and he was in the lead when he went across the line, and just like maybe 20 seconds behind him, here comes his teammate Nico Rosberg, and finishes just fractions of a second ahead of him to take the pole away from Hamilton. But that's okay. He started second a lot this year. And starting third, the crowd favorite, Felipe Massa. The crowd loved Felipe Massa. He's from Brazil, and of course they wanted nothing but great things out of him. Saturday during qualifying, there was much talk about Fernando Alonso's future. Where is he going to run next year? Is it going to be with McLaren? Where is he going to be? He's not saying. But I think one of the things that people are sort of missing is that I've heard that some of the teams are being asked to prepare a third car and a third team for next year in order to make up for the loss of Marussia and Caterham. So maybe some of the teams will have 3 drivers. Maybe there's room for a Alonso, Raikkonen, Vettel super team at Ferrari. We're just going to have to see how things go between now and next year. See if there is a Caterham to field any cars. So, and of course, Bernie Ecclestone wants there to be a decent car count. I mean, even when it comes, every racing series, every racing division, whether it's your local track or it's F1 touring the world, they're always worried about car counts and getting enough cars out there to make a good show. So let's just see what happens with Formula One next year. Saturday morning, Toad was on the pole for the nationwide 200 race. I think, at least that's what I heard, because I think it was on that Phantom Sports 2 channel that I never can find. So during football season, a lot of that stuff goes to Phantom, I guess, and I'll just never see it anymore. But he did start the race Saturday afternoon from the pole and pretty much dominated the race. The Toad was driving that 54. You know, it was the best car out there, it seemed like. Eric Jones, his protege there, also started the nationwide race, and he ran real well. I think he did finish in the top 10, top 5, something like that. But even though the Toad ran well, even though he led, I think, the most laps, bad Brad Keselowski passed him on that last restart, last lap. He got around him to lead the last lap. So bad Brad Keselowski in that number 22 Penske Discount Tires Mustang was able to take that win away from the Toad, making it Brad's 3rd or 4th win of the season in Nationwide. And y'all folks, y'all know how I feel about that by now. That should have been either Brad's last race. Kyle Busch probably shouldn't have even been there because he's won so many nationwide races already this year. So if those 2 guys weren't there and weren't able to be there, maybe that would have given a chance for somebody like Trevor Bayne or Ty Dillon or Chase Elliott to win the race. So NASCAR, if there's ever any chance that you're seeing this, please try to take it to heart. Do something to keep these Cup guys and other series guys from coming in and taking all the wins and all the points away from the nationwide guys, who will be the Infineon guys next year when the cable TV company comes in to take the place of Nationwide, because Nationwide's going on Junior's Cup car, and to finish up with the Nationwide there. Chase Elliott finished 5th in the race. I do believe Ty Dillon was a spot or 2 ahead of him. And the top 10 did have quite a few nationwide cars, like Brian Scott, no relation to StockCar Scott, but he was up there too in like 6th or 7th. So it was a good day for the nationwide guys, but none of them were good enough to hold back Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott has enough points now to where he goes to Miami with the Nationwide Championship, Drivers' Championship. The Owners' Championship will be determined there because the Owners' Championship has to do with the Joe Gibbs Racing and the Penske Racing cars. So I have to see how that goes. But as I saw on Facebook today, somebody put up a picture of Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, and then next to it was a picture of Awesome Chase from the same place, which I thought was real cute. But it's an ongoing thing for Nationwide Series. He's the youngest Nationwide Series champion ever, But he's not the first nationwide champion whose dad is also a champion in NASCAR. Of course, Junior won nationwide Busch Series back then, championship in '98 and '99, with his dad being multiple-time NASCAR champion. And there are quite a few others too that work out that way. David Pearson and his son Larry Pearson. David Pearson had Cup championships, and Larry Pearson had a couple of Busch championships. So racing is a family thing, folks. And championships seem to be a family thing also. Okay, also, let's see, moving on to Sunday. Sunday we have started out with F1. Hey, kitty. Got my kitty here watching racing with me whenever I watch now. So Sunday was F1 in Brazil at São Paulo at 7:30 in the morning. Race actually started about 8 in the morning. Rain did threaten, and because of it, a lot of the teams had their cars set up for racing in the rain, but the rain never came. So it really messed up a couple of guys like the Red Bull team, and I think a couple of the other teams were also set up hoping for rain in Brazil that never came. Because of it, Rosberg won from the pole. Hamilton led some of the race, but he had a really bad spin. Although he didn't hit anything, he lost a lot of time. All the time that he had got ahead of Rosberg, preparing for his pit stop, and not lose that time and still be able to come out in the lead. He was pushing too hard, and Hamilton spun, lost all that time, but he still ended up finishing second to Rosberg, which tightens up the championship for F1 quite a bit. But the nice story of the day was Felipe Massa. Through a pit penalty and problems that plagued his car, he was able to get up on the podium at the end of the race at his home track there in Brazil. He's the only Brazilian in the race anymore, and the crowd went crazy. It was fantastic. I mean, they didn't even care about Rosberg being first and Hamilton being second. They had their guy up on the podium in his Williams Mercedes, and that's what they wanted. So it was great. Rosberg, because of this win, still has a chance because of double points at Abu Dhabi in a couple of weeks. That race is going to be run on the 23rd of this month, so tune in on probably NBC Sportsnet to catch that one in a couple of weeks. Also on Sunday was the penultimate, the next to the last Cup race for the season there at Phoenix. And Harvick dominated. Even though Hamilton started on the pole, he had a really up and down day. I think he knocked off a tire stem during one of his pit stops and had to go back in with a flat tire. Got a lap down and was able to get his lap back. Up and down day for Denny Hamlin, but Denny Hamlin still makes the chase. Another up and down day was the Joker. Joker Logano had a pretty good starting spot up in, I do believe, the top 5, and he had his problems, which got him a lap or two down, but he was able to fight his way back, and he is in the chase for the Cup in the final race next week at Miami. Also, no neck Newman uses up the rookie Kyle Larson there on the last turn in order to make enough spots up to get in the chase. So Ryan Newman is still viable with no wins. He could win the championship next week, not by winning the race, just by finishing ahead of the other 3 guys. And of course the 4th guy is Harvick, who got in because he won the race. He won the race in dominating style. If you're a Harvick fan, it was wonderful. If you're not, if you think Harvick is a punk, then you just had to watch and just try to be impressed by the butt whooping that he put on the field. Second place to Harvick was the old man, Jeff Gordon. And because of the last lap heroics of Ryan No Neck Newman, the old man, Jeff Gordon, is out of the chase. Even though he finished second in the race, that was not enough points. I think he missed the chase by 1 point. So, well, next year, kind of like a Mariners fan, also out was bad Brad Keselowski. He did not finish up high enough. Well, he finished up high there, up in the top 10, top 5. He did real well, but that was not enough to make the cut for next week. Also out, another no race winner, Matt the Brat Kenseth. Nope, he did not make it with his Dollar General Toyota. He'll be looking for a win next weekend and a better season next season. See if he can make the Final Four next season. Another one that didn't make it, Mr. Ed. Oh, yeah, Carl Edwards. I don't know what Jack Roush had to do with it, but I kind of figured Jack Roush would not let him win the championship. Although he got close, he got down to the last race. Just Carl Edwards is going to be moving on to Toyota next year and Joe Gibbs Racing. So bye-bye Roush. Maybe he can win them one next weekend. I hope not, because I want my fella Junior to win. Junior. Junior was in the race. He finished 6th. And next week at Miami, it's the Final Four, and whoever finishes the best of those 4 win, and hopefully Junior will win. Dale Jr. will win the race. I really hope so, and hopefully that will get him moved up to where he'll finish the year 5th in points. There is that possibility. He's doing real well, so he'll at least be in the top 10, be able to get up on the stage there at Las Vegas, but I sure would like it if he was able to finish 5th. But your top 4, let's bring them up here. Drum roll. Your top 4 going for the NASCAR Sprint Cup next weekend is, with a win coming in 4th, is Kevin Harvick. With no wins and no neck, coming in 3rd is Ryan Newman. In his Toyota, giving Toyota a chance for their first championship, I sure hope not, is Denny the Deliverer Hamlin. He just hadn't come up with a good name yet for him. And the Joker is the top seed, so if it rains next weekend, he will start on the pole. Joker Logano has the most points going into or coming out of the last race, so he is top seed. There you go, your Final Four. As you notice, there are no previous championships won here in this Final Four here. So we're going to have a new NASCAR Sprint Cup champion this year, guaranteed. It's got to happen, folks. Okay, there was also last Thursday night, there was a K&N West race. Their final race of the season was there at Phoenix as part of the Phoenix NASCAR weekend. And it will be shown this Sunday on Fox Sports 1 as they're gearing up for Homestead. I know who won, and I know who won the championship, but I'm going to keep it to myself. So if you didn't get all that, or you don't have a computer and you can't go on the internet and find out the way I did, you'll be all surprised come Sunday morning when you watch the race. Okay. But I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be, I guess, the last season with the old style cars. They're introducing a new style car for next year that they're going to be phasing in that is going to look a lot more like the Cup cars. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to look like and what they're going to drive around Evergreen Speedway like next summer. So that ought to be fun with a new kind of car for the K&N folks. Also going to be the ARCA car. So they'll have it on the super speedways. Ought to be interesting come next year. We are all looking forward to next year already, because there's only one weekend of NASCAR racing left and one weekend of F1. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're looking forward to next year. Right there, Daphne? Yeah, we are looking forward to it. And of course next year I'll be able to go out and make some video of some racing around here. Until then, it'll just be the show when I can get it on. But I really like to thank everybody who watches the show and also who watch the videos, because my video view count on YouTube is now up over 10,000, folks, and I appreciate every view. I really do. You know, yeah, it's nice to put the videos up to have a place to watch them myself, but it's really gives me a nice feeling inside and all that sort of mushy stuff when I see that somebody really likes a race that I took video of or something like that. So that's why I do it, race fans, because it's fun and because y'all can appreciate it. And that's why I do this show, is because, you know, I feel that the Seattle area is underserved when it comes to race talk and racing news. So I'll keep doing my part, and you folks keep doing your part and watching, and I promise I'll see you out there this spring when it comes to live racing. Until then, we just got a couple of more weekends of racing there on TV, just 2 there, and until next weekend. Thank you, race fans. Thanks again, race fans. Talk to you next week.